Welcome back to the Late Toy Show. I'm Alan, and today I am featuring the Marvel Legends Surtur. I made a few mods on Surtur, reused Dio pieces and effects, made new ones exclusively for this figure, and had a lot of fun with it. So let's get to it, cause Ragnarok has already begun. This Marvel Legends Surtur is easily one of my favorites of 2021. I only made a few mods on him. I shaved some plastic off his shoulder sockets to add more rotation upwards as well as forwards and backwards. I also added more black paint using scenes from the movie as references.
You have made a grave mistake, Odin's son.
I wanted to recreate the flame throwing scene, so I built a two-part flame beam and deflected flame. I used my trusty 3D pen to build the frame out of clear filament so that light would shine through. At first, I planned to cover it with hot glue and paint it red and yellow, but I got lazy and I figured out that gluing orange cellophane was so much easier. In the movie, the sword spewed a majestic stream of fire, but I didn't have that kind of room, so I built a shorter flame instead. I still needed two tables for my setup to fit both Surtur and Thor to get the depth that I needed. I reused my lava dio that I made for Darkseid for the overall mood. I then lit the flame and Surtur from behind, adding some mist to sell the heat as well as add some atmosphere behind Surtur, giving him the illusion of being a flame. To take advantage of Surtur's size, he is more than 12 inches tall if you include his horns, I mostly used my trusty 50mm lens and had Thor as close to him as possible to sell their size difference. In this flying shot, for example, Thor is essentially bumping against Surtur so that I can shoot him without making Surtur too small. The disadvantage of shooting him with a 50mm versus a wider angle lens like a 20mm or below is that I lose the exaggerated perspective of Thor's hammer. For this shot, I reused my lightning effect from episode 1. I tested this pose first if Thor would balance on Surtur, while Surtur leans on a wire stand. For these two forced perspective shots, I used a macro extender on my 50mm lens so that I can get up close to Surtur's face and really make him fill the frame. I then cranked the f-stop to maximum. My lens only went up to f22 to get Hela as sharp as possible. I also had to move Surtur's table back as far away from Hela's setup as I can, while still keeping my backdrop in frame. For Hela shot, I added a foreground ground dio in the same table as Surtur to sell the illusion that Hela was in front of Surtur. I tried a few Hulk shots before ending up with this one, which is a direct reference from the movie.
I'll stop you, moron!
I tried to put Hulk in focus, but the distance between him and Surtur was just too great and my f-stop couldn't compensate the distance. For this shot, I quickly made two Hela spears with a 3D pen that were short enough to make it look like it pierced Surtur. I just used sticky tack to stick them on his chest. And that's it for the fantastic Marvel Legends Surtur photography session. Check out my Instagram at Late Toy Show for more toy photography. Also check out the Titan Masters in IG and YouTube, where fellow toy photographers Harold Ruiz, Patrick Ong, Akira Joe, and Isaiah Puyeya talk about the world of kaiju toy photography with special guests. Also check out Geek Licks, where host Chris Lina invites toy photographers from the Philippines and around the world to talk about toy photography. Thanks for watching. See you next time.